Welcome, you have reached review time with Imperial, and today's review will be The Black Phone, starring Ethan Hawke. Let's get into it. Now, subscribe to the channel, like the video. This movie has been, trailers for this movie been out for some time. This movie was supposed to come out either last year or at least February of this year. But they kept pushing it back. And, I guess they probably wanted to wait. I don't know if the pandemic had something to do with it before they could get it out. Nevertheless, they finally launched. It was always interesting. So it was like a kidnapping story with a twist. And let's just go over the short cast because it's a lot of different actors and actresses in this movie, but the key ones that's really matter. And that's Madeline McGraw plays as Gwen. Mason Thames plays as Finney. And of course the grabber, Ethan Hawke. So it's other familiar actors and actresses in there, but really they don't play a real significant role. Just these main three. So just like if you see me do reviews on the movies that's like women being trafficked and stuff like that, and this is like in that realm too, missing persons, kids getting kidnapped and stuff like that, and this is basically what it is. And growing up, of course, you were always told don't talk to strangers. It's a lot of weird people out here, and don't let them manipulate you or whatever. So people who review this movie and they go and watch this review, go on YouTube. It's tons of videos. It's one particular video that stands out, and I even showed I shared the video. It's this guy that's trying to teach awareness to kids about strangers and stuff like that. And what in the video, the guy is at a park. He get consent from people's parents, and he said tell him what he's doing, trying to teach awareness. So he has a puppy, and these parents think that their kids are like, they know not to talk to strangers and know not to deal with strangers, everything. So he shows up to the little kid and strike conversation. Now at first the kids is standoffish, but then when he offers for them to go see his puppy, every one of the kids went with him. And the parents was like hurt, like they thought that their kid knew better. And so, just teaching awareness. So he did another video, or it might be in the same video, where he played as the ice cream truck man, and then he showed up with the kids and told the kids they could get a special ice cream if they come on the truck. So majority of the kids went right on the truck with him, and the parents was astonished that their kids did that. It was probably like one or two little girls that was like, nah, I ain't fooling with you, So just creating awareness. So this is falls right in line with that. You got this kid Finney and his sister Gwen. The dad's a drunk. The dad's abusive. And their mom's no longer in the picture. Now Gwen is reaping with the mom. The mom we're seeing had dreams and premonitions of videos, of like reality in life, but it was made her to look crazy. And so Gwen was starting to receive some of those same dreams and stuff like that. Meanwhile, of course, the dad was abusive, and Finney didn't like it. And Finney was getting bullied in school, getting beat up. He had his best friend, saved his best friend, but his best friend got beat up too. The sister would come and help. So you're going through all these things. Meanwhile, these kids in their town are getting snatched. So came time for Finney time to get snatched. And of course, you see the trailer. The grabber shows up, say, hey, you want to teach a magic trick? But it's where his truck is faced, and he opened the truck, something falls out, balloons pop out, and he take the spray him, Before he know it, he's in the dungeon. Now um, the twist with this kidnapping is while Finney is in the dungeon that's been soundproof, there's a phone in there that the cord is cut. However, the phone rings, and it's all the old souls of the kids in the neighborhoods, and one of the kids was Finney's best friend, and it was about 5 different kids that called his phone, talking to the next person, telling them what they did, everything that they tried to do before it was too late. And so basically the build up of the story is each kid that calls him on the phone is telling them everything that they seen and telling him what not to do or whatever. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, the sister's having these dreams, and she's, out looking for her brother. One night she got her dad to go out, help her look with the brother. She's coming up empty or whatever. So it's getting down all these times that he's talking to these dead kids' soul. Their soul is still stuck on Earth, uneasy or whatever. So eventually what happens is the cops are doing their, detectives is doing their detail work. They go to this man that was real weird, and he's up here looking at all the cases, talking about he got leads and stuff like that, and he's sniffing coke, and they pretty much he said I'm here house sitting for my brother. So when it shows the cops leave, the camera view goes down and it shows Finney. So you're thinking at the time that you're watching is that this weirdo that's paying attention to the case, you're thinking that Finney is down in the basement where he's at. So you're like, oh, this is the killer. But we already know Ethan Hawke is the one that's underneath the mask. So nevertheless, what's going on with that? The sister had this one dream where the second to the last guy that was talking to Finney, the kid that was talking to Finney on the phone, he was a hothead in the town, and he got in a fight with these kids, and he carved the number 7741 in the kid's arm. The little sister seen it, and she got to see an image of the house. So she went out on her bike and she found the house. So she came back home, got the detective's number, called the detective, and told about her dream, and she said it has to be it, right? So I knew right there that the kid that gave her the address, that was from his view. That was from his view, but that wasn't the address he actually was at though. So I kind of picked that up. But there was a moment where Finney did get loose from one of the kids giving him is a combination. He did get loose, but he was a turtle. He tried to run. He was a turtle running. And of course the grabber grabbed him. And for theatrics, they let him get captured again. But in reality, when you little, you were turf. You had to run. Ain't nobody catching you. You gone or whatever. So nevertheless, back to the story. Finney, his last person he talked to was his friend, and pretty much told him, practice fighting. Practice fight, because Finney was a little wimp. Told him practice fighting, and the phone that was down there told him put some dirt in it to make it more weighty. So when you use that as a weapon, you'll be able to hit him harder. So what basically took place is that Finney, he used all the things that the kids had taught him to use to try to get away. He used that against the grabber, and then weakened the grabber, and then he kept clunking the grabber in the head. Then there was a rope down there that one of the kids had, and he wrapped the rope around the grabber's neck and pretty much choked him out till he killed him. And he picked the phone up to the grabber's ear and let the ghost and talked to him in the ear. Said basically, you're gonna be down here with us. Meanwhile, when the cops came from the sister, they were across the street. Now, one part that I left out is that the goofy weirdo dude that was filing the case, come to find out he was the grabber's brother. His name was Max. And he knew something was going on across the street at the house, but he would never, his brother always told him stay away. So the one moment he comes down to find out what it is, he sees Finney, and right behind him was his brother, and his brother stabbed him and with an axe, killed him. He said, "Man, you made me kill my brother," or whatever. So nevertheless, when the cops came, they was across the street at seven. They was at 7741. They go in the house, there's nothing in there. They go in there, there's nothing in there. But when they go downstairs, they see basically a cemetery, pretty much, where he was digging the bodies and burying them. And it was one open slot where he was very Finney. So pretty much when Max was at his house, he wouldn't go down there in that basement. He finally went and seen what he did, and then that's when he came over to the other basement, seeing what his brother was doing. So the grabber owned both houses, where he used one house to keep the kids in and torture them or whatever, and then the other house he used to bury them. And Finney got out. Cops was there. They were across the street, and the little sister was sitting out front. And when she looked up, Finney was coming out from the house from across the street. And it's basically out of the 4-star rating system I give this movie, it's really a 2 out of 4 stars. The horror is the twist part of it, but it's not really horror. It's more thriller, if anything. It's really a 2 out of 4 stars, but because of the severity of kids getting kidnapped and kids need to be made aware of these situations that's going on, I give it a 2.5 out of 4 stars because of that. Decent enough to watch for the awareness. The storyline is a little wonky, but it's decent enough to watch for the awareness, to spread the word, and for parents and loved ones to teach kids about strangers and what can happen, and drill it in their head. Keep drilling it. And also when it comes to like the trafficking, keep that awareness going, because that stuff is still going on out here in the world. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.